I just got finished doing a dumbbell workout in the box truck, and I'm about to go ahead and shoot this Monday video that I should have shot yesterday, and I just didn't, but I do need to weigh in, so I'm gonna do that. So this week is going to be another casual check-in, basically. I've weighed myself, and I weighed in at 152 and some change. Yesterday, I weighed in at 154, and the day before that, I weighed in at 150. So what does that really mean when you're weighing yourself every day? Well, for me, it's actually helped, because you have a real gauge of sort of what your body is doing, and you sort of get, not everyone, but for me, you can sort of get numb to small fluctuations. You're still looking for the trend over time. I'm still seeing more of a holding pattern than I'd like, and so that's something for me to work on. But it's not debilitating. And weighing yourself every day isn't for everyone, but for me it's been useful, it's been helpful. The more data points you have, the more idea you have of what's going on with your body, and so just making a habit out of it, it's just something I do every day, like brushing my teeth, or like, I don't know, brushing my teeth. So there's that. I right now I'm not super focused on dropping big numbers. I have way too much to do with building out this house, but I don't want to gain. I don't want to gain significant numbers. Right now, I'm kind of dancing around the low 250s. I got two actual 250s, and I haven't broken the 250s yet. If I stayed there for a little while, right now, it's not a huge concern to me. What is a huge concern to me is actually getting back into the habit of exercise. And last week, I did terrible. I did my spin YouTube video class that I once last week. There were a lot of reasons, but the biggest reason is I'm sort of so randomly attacking this build, and it has to be random because I only have so much control over access money and places that I can build, because that has sort of ruled my actions. I've been a bit disorganized. So what I did yesterday was I gave myself a schedule, especially because today I am going to be starting rehearsals for my next show. At 2 o'clock today, we have our first rehearsal, and it's about 11:30 right now while I'm recording this. And I was like, I cannot stay organized and accomplish all I want to accomplish without a schedule. So literally last night I took out a piece of paper and I just wrote a schedule. I wrote all the big things that had to happen. I scheduled in all the small things that I want to happen. And the big thing that I made happen today was doing my first body weightlifting exercise. It wasn't really body weight, it was mostly weightlifting exercise in a while. I found this really cool couple on YouTube. I've been really exploring YouTube workouts, and they were awesome. I do like a few more call outs from my workout programs, and they're really silent, especially since there are times where I can't look directly at the screen. So hearing tips about form and reminders and stuff like that is really good for me, and it's a really silent sort of exercise that just relies on you following along visually. So it was fine, and it definitely made me work up a sweat, and it definitely got my heart rate up, which is the most important part. But except for this week, I think I'm going to do them 2 more times this week, along with keeping going with my spin class, because I enjoy that. Along with I think that's just what I'm going to do this week, is I'm going to cycle between those two. So tomorrow I'll do spin, Wednesday I'll do weights again, spin, weights, spin, and probably some sort of stretching routine on Sunday. So I'm going to target every day, really making myself focus on getting exercise in. I had some heavier lunches this past week, and that's mostly because I used frozen meals. So it's the frozen meal has a calorie count. It's just right on the back of the box, and that's why I ate them, because they were easy. and they weren't necessarily quote unquote bad, but it's one of those things where it's like there's certain meals where I'm like, okay, well, I want to reduce the calories in this and kind of focus on the protein or focus on whatever so I can pull this out. And I didn't really do that this past week because my lunch was mostly like frozen meals, which just have a base calorie. I just threw it into my app, ate lunch, and moved on with my life. But like I said, like I'm having a lot of fluctuation around the low 250s, but it's nothing that I'm highly concerned about at the moment, because one, I bought this box truck primarily so that I can focus especially on the exercise part of my health routine. The food part was fine in the smaller vehicle, but the exercise part is what was limited by the smaller vehicle. So the big thing I want to do is like have no excuses not to do what I need to do. And I know I'm going to hear it in the comments. Just walk. You are assuming I am in a position to just go out and walk the neighborhood wherever I'm parked. And that's not always true. I could definitely force it in there, but I find I'm just not consistent. Like, that does not make me consistent. Waking up in the morning and making it the first thing I do makes it consistent. And I'm not always in a place where I'm comfortable jumping out of my vehicle and walking in some strange place. And I obviously could do it later in the day, but then I get caught up in the events of the day, and it just doesn't happen. Like, even when I've tried to do that, it just doesn't happen. So, yes, walking is a completely valid form of exercise if you can't do nothing else, and I do think I should try to get out and get as much walking in as I can. But if I am distracted by the day, and I know I put in an intense 30 to 40 minutes in the morning, then I can sort of move on with my day in comfort, as opposed to when I'm like, well, I should try to fit in a walk today when it's safe, or force myself to scheduling driving to a place. And one of the goals with the box truck was, if I didn't have time to drive to a place where I felt safe, getting out the vehicle, leaving Mickey alone in here. And that's my thing, is like right now, I'm not always in a place where I feel comfortable leaving Mickey for an extended amount of time. And there are places sort of where I can kind of keep an eye on the truck while still walking around. But right now I'm not in a good place where like I can walk a mile away from the truck and feel comfortable every single day. I'm just not in that place right now. You know, I could definitely do a little walk around the block. It's not going to be much. And I'd rather just do something that I really know is going to be intense, going to cause me to sweat, and there's no stress element of worrying about somebody seeing, you know, a cat crawling around in the cab and wondering why, you know, he's alone in there and if he needs to be rescued. And I may be more worried about it than is realistic. But the thing about having a pet in a vehicle is, if you're in a campground and somebody sees your animal in your vehicle, they think the animal is home. They don't think anything else except that animal is home. It's in its house. Its owner left. Oh, there's windows cracked. Oh, you know, probably that animal is okay. It doesn't look stressed. When you're in a city environment, I don't care what you're in, if they see an animal crawling around in an enclosed vehicle, they're going to assume possible danger for that animal, or they can. It's more likely that people are going to think like that animal is in distress or in trouble, even if the animal is showing no signs of trouble. And it's funny because it's still in a vehicle. You know, it's in a vehicle in a campground, it's in a vehicle in the city, and people's minds just work differently in those environments, and it makes me nervous. I mean, I was nervous about leaving my vehicle before I had a pet, but now that I have one, I don't know how unreasonable or reasonable it is, but I stress out more about it. So being able to do stuff where I'm not away from the vehicle for too long, makes me feel better. And as far as like put Mickey in a book bag or all that other stuff, he doesn't like that. Like, he did every once in a while, if it's like a quick thing and it's about him, it's great. If it's about me trying to max out steps, he's gonna get frustrated. and then it becomes not fun for him. And that's not something I can really make an exercise every day. I can make it an outing every once in a while where, again, I'm going out for him. For him to go out and explore, for him to go out and crawl on a tree for a little bit, for him to just go out and get some fresh air. But trying to make it like a daily thing is a different type of thing. And that's where you get to the difference between like training versus like casual things you do for that extra sort of joy of activity. So like I could go try to find a place to ride my bike in the world every day. But the world has hills, it has people, it has cars, it has traffic. So one, you can't control those things, so you can't really time those. You can't really train in that environment. Now, plenty of people ride their bikes outside every day, and they absolutely enjoy it. But what I find, and I didn't expect to experience this, because I was one of those people who's like, well, that's dumb. Why would you ride a bike indoors when you could just ride it outdoors and actually experience the world and blah, 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 blah. I used to be one of those people. But now I kind of get it, because when I'm listening to the prompts from the instructor, all I'm focusing on is the workout. I'm not worried about traffic. I'm not worried about stopping, at intersections. I'm not worried about being away from the truck because I can literally turn around and see the animal. I'm not worried about bringing like enough water with me if I need it, because I can just pull my water bottle out and it's just sitting there on a table. Like, I can exercise in my pajama pants, which are as comfortable as anything else that I'm going to exercise in. They're basically cutesy, thin sweatpants. So you can just kind of focus on the workout. You're not focused on all the things you need to go out in the world and do this thing. Just the workout. And I like that. So that when I do go out to ride on the street, it's just because I want to go out and ride on the street because I'm somewhere pretty where I feel like it's worth it. When I go out with Mickey in like a backpack or whatever, it's because I'm like, I'm giving Mickey an experience, not because I'm forcing him out because I'm nervous about leaving him in the truck. So that's sort of the things that I'm juggling and dealing with right now. And I don't know that I found the best solutions, and maybe part of this in my head is maybe it's excuses, maybe it's even unreasonable. Maybe I'm even projecting. I don't know. Right now I'm experimenting and I'm finding the new flow in the space under these conditions and with this new thing being introduced, which is the show that's going to start rehearsals soon in a few hours. So I need to get myself ready for the rest of my day. This is kind of like, these updates are going to be kind of weird. I just want to get back in the habit of doing them, of recording them, of uploading them, of getting them out there, and then I'll kind of improve the video quality. I say so much. I'll improve the video quality as I have the ability to, and right now I just need to focus my energy like other places. So I just love having these on another channel now because I don't feel as pressured. And it can just be informal, and I can just sit down and talk, maybe throw in a couple of clips for reference, but otherwise make it really, really simple. So that's it. That's the health and fitness update for whatever date this is, April 26th. Where did April go, guys? Like, how is it the end of April? It's the last Sunday in April. I don't know where April went. See you next week on this subject. And I got a lot of work to do over on the Donna Van Life channel as far as like getting things together over there. So I'm going to focus on that. Bye-bye.